again in this class we are continuing on with the development experience of India, a comparison with her neighbors. And in this we finished with what has been the growth strategy, and we talked about the performance, and we saw the performance on five counts, on five variables. One was growth rate, one was the sectoral distribution of output, the other was the demographic profile, and we also talked about human development index and the sectoral distribution of workforce. And now in this we are going to talk about an appraisal, that is a success and failure of our strategy, and that too we'll do a comparison with. In this I'm going to do with Pakistan, and then we'll do with China. So this is what it is. Just go through this. So of course it is common to find development strategies of a country as a model to others for lessons and guidance for their own development. And in this especially we learn from economic performances of our neighboring countries, and then it is important to know about our success and failure for that. And for this, let's take the common success story of India and Pakistan. So these are the observations that highlight the common success story of India and Pakistan. For example, both India and Pakistan have succeeded in more than doubling their per capita incomes. Especially it is remarkable because of the fact that population has increased both in Pakistan and India, and along with it, if our per capita incomes have increased, that shows something, shows some development. The second is common success story is that the incidence of absolute poverty has actually come down. Yes, and we are not talking about the number of people below poverty line. That continues to be still very large. Then food production has successfully kept pace with the rise in population. Barring some fluctuations due to weather conditions, both countries are self-sufficient in food today. And then food self-sufficiency has been accompanied with improved nutritional status. Daily caloric and protein intake per capita has actually increased. Still we find malnourishment quite high amongst children and ladies. Then we also find that in both Pakistan and India, a well-developed modern sector along with a backward traditional sector has found global recognition all over. Then India and Pakistan have almost similar performance with regard to access to improved water resources. Initially, it was found Pakistan had achieved better results as regards access to improved water resources. However, in the recent past, India has also come up in this sphere. So that's a good thing. And looking at it, we can know that we are on our way to a progressive economy. Now let's talk about the common failures of India and Pakistan. So these are the observation. One is the relatively inward-looking economic policies and high protection to domestic industry did not allow India and Pakistan to take timely advantage of globalization. Second, the mindset of the politicians and the bureaucrats has not shown a progressive change. Controls continue to be their preferred option rather than freedom of choice of producers, freedom of choice for the producers and consumers. Then private sector is more popular, more on contracts, bribes, loans from public financial institutions. So public sector has thrived much more on this. And another problem is that there has been a lot of tax evasion. Still, even with the new GST in order, still much has to be desired still. Then fiscal management is disappointing. Higher fiscal deficit, which averages 7 to 8% of GDP, has persisted for fairly long periods of time. Now, owing to huge borrowings by the government, private capital formation has failed to trend up to the desired extent. Then, large portion of tax revenue is spent to meet defense expenditures and internal debt servicing. And so this hampers the process of growth. Then we also find that deficient urban services such as water, electricity, and transport are a hurdle in the process of growth and development. And we still lack sincere and strong leadership focusing on social welfare. That is that has to come from the politicians. And there is a wide lag between the formulation of policies on the one hand and their implementation on the other. And this is really one big hurdle in the growth, in the process of growth. Now, areas where India has an edge over Pakistan. So we can talk about these. In the area of skilled manpower and research and development institution, India is better placed than Pakistan. Second, India has shown a remarkable breakthrough in the export of software and software-enabled services after economic reforms of 1991. And these are estimates given by the World Bank 2018. Then you have human capital formation in India has emerged as much more significant determinant of growth than in Pakistan. And we have the other one is Indian scientists excel in the areas of defense technology, space research, electronics and avionics, genetics, telecommunications, where Pakistan is lagging behind. Then you have India also has a better record of investment in education. The adult literacy rate, female literacy rate, gross enrollment ratio at all levels, and education index have trended up much faster in India than in Pakistan. And then owing to rapid decline in fertility rate, population growth in India has been slashed to 1.1%, while in Pakistan it continues to be high as much as 1.43. These are 2017 estimates. Then we have health facilities in general and infant mortality in particular are better addressed in India. Now there are areas where Pakistan has an edge over India. So these are the observations. Starting from almost the same level as India, Pakistan has achieved better results with regard to migration of workforce from agriculture to industry or migration of people from rural to urban areas. And second, by reducing the below poverty level population to 29.5% in 2013 of the total, contrasting with India's 21.9% in 2011, Pakistan's growth strategy has a better human face than that of India. Third, even when the rate of investment in Pakistan has been lower than in India, efficiency of investment in terms of output per unit of capital has been higher. But all said and said, so this is where we see that talking about the appraisal, we find that we do have an edge over Pakistan, and Pakistan does have an edge over us in some matters, but then we are on our way to the path of development. But okay, so we come with the next class.